Hi, my name is Lynette. The specific career I chose within the field of psychology is a mental health counselor. Typical titles include therapist, mental health counselor, clinical social workers, psychiatric nurses, outpatient clinician, school adjustment counselor, and specialty titles may include marriage and family counseling, child and adolescent therapist, substance abuse counselor, psychiatrist, and psychologist. Income ranges vary depending on job title and agency of employment. For example, government-based positions average at $50,600 annually. Hospitals average at $47,000 annually. Individual or family services average at $42,190 annually. Outpatient and substance abuse center positions average at $42,140 annually, and residential care facilities average at $37,210 annually. The average median salary for mental health counselors is $43,300 annually. That averages at about $20.82 per hour. The highest earned salary average is $70,840. That averages at about $34.06 per hour. The lowest earned salary ranges at $27,310, which is roughly $13.13 per hour. The educational requirements to obtain a mental health counselor's degree is to start out with your diploma or GED, continue on to get your AA degree, your transfer degree, obtain a bachelor's in psychology, and then move on to get your master's in mental health counseling or social work, and then continue on to an internship. The licensure requirements in order to obtain your licensed mental health counseling degree are a minimum of 36 months full-time counseling, which is the equivalent to about 3,000 hours postgraduate mental health counseling under direct supervision, 100 hours of immediate supervision, 1,200 hours of direct counseling services. You must complete 36 hours of continuing education, 6 of which have to be in professional law and ethics, and you also have to pass your National Board of Certified Counselors exam. There are a variety of job responsibilities and duties of being a mental health counselor. But firstly, the primary goal of being a counselor is to work with individuals and groups or communities to improve the overall mental health of the individual or family. And so these are just a few of the job descriptions. They do not include all of them. This is just a general idea of what it entails. So for example, conducting mental health assessments of individuals, developing individualized treatment plans for each client. Obviously, each client is going to have their own specific needs. Directing individual or group therapy sessions, running preventative mental wellness classes, making treatment referrals, and crisis management if any of that were to arise for a client. Like I mentioned, these are just a few of the responsibilities of a mental health counselor. So advancement opportunities within the field of mental health counseling. As the field of psychology continues to evolve with studies and more research that's being conducted, the opportunities for mental health counselors to expand their knowledge or to further get more training. I mean, it's always constant. There's always more opportunity for growth. So such advancements opportunities include continuing education. Like I'd mentioned, there's always additional research that's being conducted. And so as we learn new things about the field of psychology, they're going to come up with new methods. of treatment. And then there's specializing if there's a particular field within psychology that is of interest. So, for example, you're working with clients that are specifically transsexual or individuals that are specifically um, children or adolescents or marriage counseling. So there's always an opportunity to specialize within a specific field. And then there's also the supervisor opportunities. After you've accumulated a few years of experience, that's always an option as well. So other positions or jobs that are related to mental health counseling would be, so for example, social workers, community service manager, human service manager, social service manager, an array of different counselors, so rehabilitation counselors, school counselors, even career counselors. There's also within the correctional facilities within the community, so a correctional treatment specialist, a probation officer. There's lots of opportunities within the healthcare system, so a health educator or a community health worker. These are just a few that are related to mental health counseling. So there's a plethora of other specialties or positions that are also related to mental health counseling. In regards to job outlook for mental health counseling, there is very much going to be a constant and an increase in need for mental health counselors. Um, According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the employment projections for this specific career of mental health counseling, and that also entails substance abuse and behavioral health disorder counseling. They're expected to see a growth of 23% within the next 10 years. And so for other positions like social workers or also any other like social service positions, it's supposed to grow about 16%. So on average, between all the different positions and job titles, we're supposed to see an increase roughly about 7%. It's still that's a great outlook. There's going to be a continued need as we expose the public with more knowledge about mental health conditions and as the need arises as well. So it's a great position to look into. There's always going to be a need for mental health counselors. And so if that's something that you would be interested in, or if you're nervous about job security, this is definitely a great position to look into because there is going to be a consistent and constant need throughout the future. So additional courses to consider before going into your master's of mental health counseling or before you finish your degree I mean, there's such a variety of different courses that Central offers. Like I said, the more broad of a scope of knowledge that you're able to obtain during your education, the more well-rounded of a future mental health counselor you'll be. It's great to try to obtain as much knowledge in as much as in as many different areas as possible. And so just a few of the great courses that are offered would be abnormal psychology, personality or cognitive psychology, definitely research and statistics. And, you know, like I said, giving yourself and exposing yourself to more areas within psychology will aid you in better assisting your future clients. So just as I had mentioned before, there's always opportunities for growth within the mental health counseling field due to research and studies. We're finding out more and more about specific mental health conditions and better ways to treat. And so opportunities that are available outside of education. So there are positions that are available with just a bachelor's degree. So, for example, case management positions, behavioral health aides, and other such opportunities that are vastly available within mental health counseling agencies. So internships are a requirement in order to complete your master's degree. And so depending on the agency that you do your internship, regardless, you're going to obtain quite a bit of extensive knowledge. But you can essentially do your internship in an area that you would hope to someday specialize in. Um, so Speaking of specialization, because mental health counseling is specialized, experience should be gained either after completing a bachelor's degree or concurrently during a master's degree in a specified area. So that's a great opportunity, like I had mentioned, to obtain some of that knowledge through an internship. So here's some additional skills gained outside of education. So as mentioned, most graduate degrees prepare counselors for generalized practice or specialized. Um, However, counselors will not generally be specifically trained with any particular therapeutic modality. It's each counselor kind of picks and chooses what their specialization and what they're better able to assist their clients with. However, many agencies will require a therapist to be able to bill for a certain amount of clinical hours. This is known as evidence-based practices. Um, Individuals completing a master's level counseling degree will only be able to practice under the supervision of a qualified counseling supervisor. So depending on the state, sometimes even the county, those differ from state to state on what the credential requirements are and the specific hours required before obtaining your licensure. And so, as I mentioned, if you're planning on practicing in a different state, then I would definitely look into what the requirements for that specific state are. As you graduate with your degree in mental health counseling or with your bachelor's in psychology, it is important to know that as the field of psychology continues to grow and evolve, that is one of the requirements in order to be a mental health counselor, is that you will have to be consistently updating and educating yourself in the new areas of psychology that are being researched. There's going to be additional um, avenues of treatment for clients, and so it's important to keep up to date as a mental health counselor, because you want to ensure that you're fully um, being able to serve and assist your client. In regards to the specific field of mental health counseling, it is important to note that there is a high burnout rate, especially if you're working in community mental health facilities. So it is absolutely crucial that, as you share with your clients in regards to self-care habits, that you, as the clinician or the mental health counselor, that you are also practicing great self-care habits, as well as participating in resiliency trainings. And so another key point is that as a mental health professional, it's very much a team effort. You're going to be working with a group of other clinicians or mental health counselors to better assist your clients. So it's all about collaborating with others and helping as many individuals as possible in the best way possible. As a mental health counselor, you have many influences within the community and within your agency. Um, Therapists and other counselors perform essential community functions. They help a variety of individuals with either children, marriages, families, adults. There's an array of different clients that you're assisting. Um, so many agencies are designed to specifically help the community, thus the most susceptible members of society. So, for example, a lot of agencies focus on assisting the underprivileged, minority, and impoverished individuals. It's important to note that mental health conditions are very destructive on the economic level within communities. So therapists help as much as possible in reducing the impact of community resources, especially within high utilizers. So they try to focus in, as mentioned, specifically on the minority and impoverished populations within the community.